What's that? It's a DS7 CROSSBACK. It's a luxury French SUV inspired by Parisian chic and 60 years of heritage. Yes, heritage. The DS brand was inspired by the innovative Citroën DS that was launched in 1955 at the Paris Motor Show. It was one of the first production cars to have disc brakes and was well ahead of its time in terms of style and technology. While the DS7 and other models in the DS range look different to the original DS, the revival is in the values. Style, technology, innovation and attention to detail. And the DS7 CROSSBACK has that in spades. The design of this car reminds me a lot of the real giants in this category. Cars like the Audi Q5, the Mercedes GLC, the Lexus NX. There's a lot of similar styling between these cars. The lines, the body, the shape. I love this imposing front end and this diamond-inspired grille. It looks every bit at home with the other luxury SUVs. It's got some really amazing details though. Look at this. These LED lights that put on a show every time you turn the car on and off. This particular car also has night vision. There's an infrared camera in the grille which improves visibility at night, making the car safer. This spec is a top spec Opera trim, meaning you get these diamond cut 20-inch alloys. You've got a choice of 19 and 20-inch alloy designs across the range. The rear of this car really reminds me of the Audi Q5 and Q7 with the shape. These 3D rear lights just set it off nicely and make it something a bit different. I dare say that the DS7 CROSSBACK is better looking than its rivals in my opinion, if you can look past the badge. Because let's be honest, we can all be badge snobs. And whilst the French are known for their luxury fashion designers, it's the Germans that are known for their luxury cars. But DS are shaking that up a little bit. And I think you're going to be really impressed with this car and all the thought that they've put into it. This particular model is the hybrid, that's 300 horsepower and is four-wheel drive. They've also got another hybrid option, which is a 225 horsepower version. DS have badged this the E-Tense. These hybrid engines can give up to 34 miles of purely electric range, which is pretty good. It's more than the Mercedes GLC hybrid and slightly less than the Audi Q5 hybrid. They take about an hour and 45 minutes to charge up from 0 to 100 on a 7 kilowatt wall box, which isn't bad. If hybrid's not your thing, then there's other options too. You've got a petrol engine with 180 horsepower or a diesel engine with 130 horsepower. So there's plenty of choice and something for everybody. In terms of trim levels, you've got 4 to choose from. You've got Performance Line Plus, Rivoli, and this one, which is the Opera. It's a top spec. Prices start from around £32,500 for the entry-level petrol model. This particular one is the hybrid and it's also the top spec. So you're looking at just under £55,000. But that's actually cheaper than the Audi Q5 hybrid by quite a few £1,000s and a similar price to the same spec Mercedes GLC hybrid. So it's not cheap. But they're not aiming to be, and they're bringing something different to the table than their German rivals. Just look at this interior. It looks bespoke. I love these seats, which in this spec are in this beautiful buttery Napa leather. The design is inspired by luxury watch strap design, and the seats are heated, they've got a massage function and electrically adjustable. It's full of beautiful design touches in here. This lovely leather, and then you've got this beautiful pearl stitching. I mean, just look at that stitching. This pearl stitching is actually really hard to achieve, which is why it's quite rare that you see it. Above the infotainment system, you've got this beautiful timepiece. It's a BRM clock, which folds out as you turn the car on, and it folds back when you turn the car off. You'll get that with Performance Line Plus spec and above. The infotainment system is this lovely HD touchscreen, which looks great, but it is a little bit laggy. You get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard, along with Bluetooth, sat-nav, cruise control and rear parking sensors. Upgrade to Performance Line spec, you'll get front sensors too and a rear parking camera. You've got this statement crystal roller as well, which is a really nice touch that activates the volume. You also get these matching crystal rollers on the multifunction steering wheel. Down here you've got this stunning centre console, which like the seats is inspired by luxury watch strap design. It looks really smart and is keeping in with the theme of the car. I really love these little touches. What I will say is that it doesn't have the buttons where you think they will be. It's not the intuitive place that you go to, let's say, open the window or lock the car door or put the parking brake on, but you do get used to it. In here, you get some storage space for your bits and bobs, your keys, and with Performance Line Plus spec and above, you get this wireless charging pad. You also get a 12-volt socket and a USB charging port. You've also got this, which I think is a phone holder. That's what I've been using it for, very handy. You've got 2 cup holders here, and in the centre armrest, you've got all this storage space with a little light too, handy. I think that the DS7 CROSSBACK has definitely got one of the best interiors too. It's just got so many beautiful design details, the vents, the stitching, this lovely steering wheel and the crystal rollers that you get. I will say that the build quality isn't where I'd like it to be. It doesn't feel as hardy, let's say, as what you get in the German rivals like the Mercedes GLC or the Audi Q5, but it's still nice, still really nice. And I mean, these seats to me look like something you get from a bespoke built car or bespoke upholstery. It's just really beautiful and it's really nice to see something a bit different. In the back, it's really spacious and really comfortable. I love these Napa leather seats, they're lovely. You've got a centre armrest here and there's enough space for 3 people to sit. Headroom's decent. I am short though, so bear that in mind. And legroom's okay. You've got 2 USB ports back here as well so that everybody else can charge their devices and phones. I love this DS embossing here in the back of the headrest too. It's really smart, quite premium looking. So there's not loads of storage space in here, but I'll tell you where there is a lot of storage space. In the boot, let me show you. This car's got powered tailgate. No! It's also got this feature, which is, should we give it a go? It works! Ta-da! While the DS7 CROSSBACK is smaller in all ways compared to its rivals, it's not smaller in terms of boot size because it's actually got a bigger boot than rivals, especially when it comes to hybrids. So the Mercedes GLC and the Audi Q5 actually get a much smaller boot when you opt for the hybrid variant, but all engines get this same boot size in the DS7 CROSSBACK. You get 555 litres with the seats up, which is really good. And with the seats down, you get 1,750 litres. You also get this. You get this loading floor with the highest specs. And I mean, there's actually enough room in there to actually put things in. You've got this other little compartment, which stores some of your charging cables and tyre repair kit. You also get free charging cables for the hybrid version. Brownie points for that. So you've got some different drive modes. You get more with the hybrid version. You've got 4-wheel drive, comfort, hybrid, sport, which is really punchy and fast. And then you've also got electric, so you can drive in full electric. I'm going to say it's not the smoothest drive in electric, to be honest, and I find that hybrid's not the smoothest drive ever, but it's good for MPG. I've managed to do quite well on a tank of fuel. Steering's really light, perhaps a bit too light for my liking. I'm used to a bit of heavier steering, but it's really easy to manoeuvre the car and it's really comfortable to drive. I've got a great driving position, really good visibility. So if you were to flick the gear stick back whilst it's in drive, it will go into B mode, which is like a regenerative braking mode. It's not like that one pedal braking that you get in electric cars, but it does start to slow the car down as you take your foot off the accelerator, which is really good. And it helps to put that kinetic energy back into the electric battery, giving you a bit more range. There's definitely some areas of improvement for the DS7 CROSSBACK E10s. It's not as refined in the drive as its rivals. Build quality could be better in some areas, and the infotainment system could be a little bit faster and more intuitive. But let's not forget all the good stuff that it's got going for it. The design is subjectively one of the best in its category. It's such a great looking car. It's got so many thoughtful features that other brands just don't have at this price point. It's comfortable and it's got a lot of tech as standard. And there's a lot of engine options to choose from, so you can pick something that really suits you. DS is definitely an underdog for now, but they're finding their feet really quickly, and it's great to see them not afraid to try new things and innovate, just like their namesake, the Citroën DS. So what do you think? to the DS7 CROSSBACK. Would you have one? Would you have one over its rivals, the Audi Q5 or the Mercedes GLC? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing car content, if I do say so myself.